The fire had already settled into a steady burn. Low flames, soft crackling. The kind of quiet that comes when everyone's comfortable. There were 6 of them, sitting in a loose circle, chairs angled toward the warmth, talking in that slow, drifting way people do at night. No rush, no urgency, just the fire. It was Daniel who noticed him first. A shape moving between the trees. Not fast, not hiding, just walking. Stepping carefully over roots, into the edge of the firelight. "Hey," the man said, calm, like he'd been there the whole time. "Sorry, got here late." No one reacted much. A couple of nods. Someone shifted their chair slightly to make space. It felt normal, like he belonged there. He sat just outside the main circle, close enough to feel the heat, far enough to stay mostly in shadow. Conversation picked back up. Someone handed him a drink. He thanked them, used their name. That should have stood out, but it didn't. Not then. Time passed the way it always does around a fire. Slow, unmeasured. The man spoke occasionally. Not much, just enough to stay part of it. He laughed quietly at the right moments, answered questions easily, like he knew everyone. But there were small things that didn't quite settle. He didn't have a bag, no jacket, no blanket. No one had heard a car, and when someone asked where he'd come from, he gave a vague answer. A place just far enough away that no one questioned it. It was easy to ignore, all of it, until later. The fire had burned lower, voices softer now, longer gaps between conversations. Emma leaned forward slightly, looking straight at him. "Wait, who did you come with?" The man didn't answer. He just sat there, watching the fire. For a second, it felt like he hadn't heard her. Then everyone else started looking around. Daniel shook his head. "Not me. Thought he was with you," someone else said. A few quiet responses followed, each one the same. "Not me." The circle shifted, subtly, uncomfortably. Emma looked back toward him. The chair was empty, still angled toward the fire, still close enough to be warm. No one had seen him stand. No one had heard him leave. They sat there for a while, not speaking, just watching the space where he'd been. Like if they looked long enough, something might make sense. Nothing did. Eventually they started turning in, not all at once, one by one. Tents zipped, lights off, the fire left to burn low. The next night, the fire burned lower than before. No one said it out loud, but they didn't sit in the same places. There was a gap in the circle now. No one took that chair. Conversation came slower, quieter. Every now and then, someone would glance toward the trees, just for a second, then look back at the fire, like nothing was wrong. It was Daniel who heard it first. Footsteps, same as before, slow, careful, coming from the trees. No one spoke. They all heard it. The steps stopped just outside the firelight. A long pause. "Hey, sorry I'm late." They chose the spot just before dark. Flat ground, trees spaced out enough to see between them. Nothing unusual. Ryan had said it was a good place to stop, close enough to the trail, far enough to feel quiet. They set up without talking much. Chloe unpacking food, Ben clearing a small space, Hannah laying out the gear. By the time it was fully dark, they were already settling in. It was colder than expected. Not freezing, just uncomfortable. The kind of cold that didn't really leave. They didn't stay up long, just enough to eat, talk a little. One by one, they turned in. Ryan fell asleep quickly, the kind of sleep that comes from being tired enough. He woke during the night. No sound, no movement, just awake. He lay still, eyes open, listening. At first, nothing. A shape appeared, outside the tent, just beyond the thin fabric, standing there. Ryan didn't move, didn't sit up, just watched. The shape stayed still. It shifted slightly, closer to the entrance. Ryan could make out more of it now. A person, standing just outside. It raised one arm, slow, deliberate. A gesture, calling him. Ryan frowned slightly, still not moving. "Ben," he said quietly. No answer. The figure didn't react, didn't speak, just stood there. It stepped back, out of the immediate view of the tent, and lifted its arm again. Same motion, slow, calling him. Ryan pushed himself up slightly, listening, waiting for someone else to move. Nothing. No tents opening. No voices. No sound at all. The figure waited, patient. Ryan reached toward the zip, stopped. Something about it felt wrong. Just wrong. The figure lifted its arm again, more insistent. Ryan leaned closer to the entrance, not opening it, just enough to see more clearly. The figure stood between the trees, farther back now, waiting. Behind it, something else moved. Ryan froze. The figure didn't turn, didn't react, just kept gesturing, like it needed him to step outside. Ryan slowly lowered his hand, away from the zip. He lay back down, eyes still open. After a while, the shape was gone. Morning came quietly, like nothing had happened. They packed up slowly, talking about the trail, the weather, normal things. Ryan looked at Ben. "You get up last night?" Ben shook his head. "No." Chloe and Hannah said the same. No one had left their tent. They left not long after, back toward the trail. The trees felt different in daylight, less dense, easier to see through. Ben walked beside him, quiet for a while. "Hey," he said, "you ever hear about that guy who went missing out here?" Ryan glanced over. "No." Ben shrugged. "Wasn't that long ago. Couple months maybe. They never found him." Ryan didn't respond, just kept walking. Ben hesitated. Last thing he said to his friend, he thought someone was out there, in the trees. Said they were waving at him. Neither of them spoke after that. They kept walking. After a while, Ryan glanced back. Between the trees, a figure stood there, watching him. Slowly, it raised its arm and gestured. "Come here." It started with a voice. They'd been hiking most of the day, long enough to be tired, quiet enough to feel alone. Jake had picked the spot, flat ground, enough space between the trees, easy to settle into. They didn't talk much that night, just enough to eat, then sleep. It was sometime in the middle of the night when Jake woke. Not suddenly, not startled, just awake. He stayed still, eyes closed at first, listening. That's when he heard it. Jake. Quiet, just outside the tent. He didn't move, didn't answer. It sounded like Maya, soft, careful. Jake. He opened his eyes, still staring at the inside of the tent. Yeah, he said. Quiet. No reply. Just silence. Jake frowned slightly, listened again. Nothing. After a while, he lay back down, closed his eyes. Morning came without anything else happening. Normal. They packed up slowly, talking about the trail, the weather. Jake glanced at Maya. You called me last night? Maya looked confused. No. Jake paused. You sure? She nodded. I didn't get up. Oliver and Zoe said the same. No one had left their tent. Jake didn't push it, just nodded. That night, they stayed somewhere new. Different clearing. Same quiet. Jake lay awake longer this time, listening. Nothing. Eventually, he started to drift. Jake. Closer this time, right outside the tent. He didn't answer, didn't move. It sounded like Maya again, but something about it was off. Too slow, too careful. Jake. He kept still, breathing shallow. The voice waited. It changed. Jake. Oliver's voice. Jake felt his chest tighten. Still, he didn't answer. The voice shifted again. Jake. Zoe. One after another. Same word. Different voices. All just outside. Waiting. Jake closed his eyes, pulled his sleeping bag tighter, and stayed completely still. After a while, the voices stopped. Jake didn't sleep after that. He just lay there, listening. At some point, he heard movement. A zip opening. Jake? Zoe's voice. Quiet. He didn't answer right away. Yeah, he said. A small pause. I thought you were outside, she said. Jake frowned. What? You were calling my name. Jake didn't respond. I heard you, she said. Just out there. Neither of them spoke after that. No one else said anything. But no one went back to sleep. Morning came. Quiet. Normal. They packed quickly that morning. No one said why, but they all moved the same way. They didn't talk about it. They didn't need to. As they started walking, Jake stayed near the middle. Not at the front, not at the back. Just where he could hear everyone. From somewhere deeper in the trees, a voice called out. Jake. He only rented it for a few nights. Just something quiet. Away from everything. The listing had been simple. Small cabin, deep in the forest. No signal. That was the point. The owner had left the key where they said they would, under a loose stone beside the steps. The cabin itself was normal, old but clean, everything where it should be. It was just one room, a bed against the wall, a small table, the front door directly across from where he'd be sleeping. There was a note on the table, just one line: "Do not answer the door at night." No explanation. He read it once, then set it down. Figured it was just something the owner said, a way to make the place feel different. Night came quickly out there, faster than expected. By the time it was fully dark, the trees outside had disappeared into it. Just black shapes where the forest had been. He locked the door, not because of the note, just habit. The cabin was quiet. No cars, no wind, nothing. He lay down not long after, facing the door. Eventually, he drifted off. A knock. His eyes snapped open. The door was right there. He didn't move, didn't breathe. Another knock. Slow, heavy. The note hit him instantly. Do not answer the door at night. He stayed completely still, heart racing now. Another knock, right in front of him. He pushed himself upright in the bed, not getting out, not getting closer, just staring at the door. Bang! The whole door shook. He flinched hard, breath catching. Another bang, harder. Something was hitting the door, over and over. He gripped the mattress, hands shaking. This wasn't someone knocking. This was someone trying to get in. And no one should have been out there. Not here. Not at this hour. The banging stopped. Silence. He didn't relax. Didn't move. A voice. "Hey," right outside the door. "Can you open the door?" It sounded normal, calm, almost friendly. That made it worse. He said nothing. "Please." A pause. "I know you're in there." He stared at the handle, waiting for it to turn. It didn't. Nothing tried to force it open. Just the voice, waiting. After a while, it stopped. No footsteps. No sound of anyone leaving. Just gone. He didn't lie back down. Didn't close his eyes. He stayed sitting upright in the bed, watching the door, shaking. Minutes passed, or hours. He didn't know. At some point, exhaustion took over, and he slipped into sleep. Morning came quietly, light through the windows. He woke slowly, disoriented. The cabin was still. The door was closed. Everything looked normal. He sat there for a while, thinking. Maybe the note had gotten into his head. Maybe he'd imagined it. A dream. It felt real, but in daylight, it didn't make sense anymore. He stood up, walked to the door, opened it. Nothing. No marks, no footprints, just the trees. Still. That night, he didn't sleep. He lay there, facing the door, waiting, listening. The sound came slowly, not knocking. The handle, turning, back and forth, testing it. He stared at it, completely frozen. The handle stopped. A voice, softer this time. "You didn't open it." A pause. "That's okay." Something brushed lightly against the wood, like a hand. "We'll try again tomorrow." Silence. He left the next morning. Didn't pack everything. Didn't stay for the booking. Just left. The note was still on the table. Do not answer the door at night. This time, he didn't question it. They weren't supposed to stop there. It wasn't planned. Just somewhere they found on the way. A small clearing off the road, flat enough to park, quiet enough to sleep. It was late. No one wanted to keep driving, so they pulled in. There was only one other vehicle there, a Caravan, parked off to the side. No lights, no movement. It looked abandoned. They didn't think much of it. Someone must have left it there. They parked a short distance away. Not too close, not too far. Close enough to see it. One of them walked past it, glanced through the window. Dark inside, nothing moving, no one there. They went back to the van, settled in for the night, seats pushed back, blankets out. It didn't take long for the van to go quiet. At some point, something shifted inside. A small sound, fabric brushing, weight adjusting. One of them opened their eyes. Not fully, just enough to look. Everyone else was still, breathing slow. The van hadn't moved. They listened. Nothing. Their eyes drifted toward the Caravan. Something felt off. They kept looking. The door was open. It hadn't been before. Just slightly. Not wide. Just enough. Like someone had stepped out and left it that way. They pushed themselves up a little, trying to see inside. Still dark. Still empty. But the door was definitely open. They didn't wake anyone, just kept watching. After a while, they lay back down, closed their eyes. Morning came slowly, light creeping in. Someone stretched, sat up. "Did anyone open that?" they said. The others looked over. The Caravan door was closed, exactly how it had been the night before. No one said anything. No one remembered it being open. They brushed it off, packed up slowly, getting ready to leave. One of them walked over, just to check. They stepped up to the Caravan, looked inside. Still empty. No bags, no signs of anyone staying there. Just a single seat, facing the door. They stepped back, didn't go inside, went back to the van. They didn't stay much longer, didn't talk about it properly, just left. As they drove off, someone looked back. The Caravan was still there, same spot, still. But now, the door was open, wider this time, and something was standing outside. Ethan had planned the trip. Just a short hike. One night out. Nothing complicated. There were 4 of them. Ethan, Luke, Sarah, and Jess. They'd all done trips like this before. Same kind of trail. Same kind of pace. They parked just off the track, grabbed their gear, started walking. It was quiet out there. Not unusually quiet, just still. Their footsteps carried. Voices didn't travel far. Everything felt contained. They walked in a loose line, not spread out, not close together, just enough space between them. Ethan was near the back, letting the others lead. He didn't mind it. After a while, he heard something. A step. Not his, not one of theirs. Behind him. He stopped, turned slightly. Nothing there. Just the trail. Trees on both sides. "You coming?" Luke called. Ethan looked forward. The group hadn't stopped. "Yeah," he said. Started walking again. He listened more carefully after that. Every step they took, he counted it, tried to match the rhythm. Sometimes there was an extra one, faint, just out of sync. He didn't mention it, didn't want to sound like he was imagining things. They kept walking, the trail winding slightly, light shifting through the trees. At one point, Ethan glanced to the side, through the trees. There was something there. A shape, roughly human, standing still. Not close, but not far enough to ignore. Ethan slowed, tried to get a clearer look. The shape didn't move, didn't react, just stood there, watching. "Ethan?" Jess said. He looked back to the group. They hadn't noticed. No one was looking that way. He turned again, back toward the trees. The shape was gone. He kept walking, stayed closer to the others this time, didn't drift to the back again. The footsteps stayed with them. Faint, consistent, always just slightly off. Ethan stopped counting. It didn't help. They reached a clearing not long after. Open space, flat ground, good place to stop. They dropped their bags, sat down, talking again. Normal. Ethan listened. 4 voices, and something else. Not a voice, just presence. He looked up. Everyone was there, sitting in a loose circle. Ethan counted. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He didn't react, didn't say anything, just looked at them. No one seemed out of place. No one looked unfamiliar. They were all talking, like they always had been, like nothing had changed. Ethan looked away, then back again. Still 5. No one noticed. No one questioned it. The conversation continued, and whatever had been walking behind them was sitting with them now. They didn't mean to take that road. It wasn't part of the route. Justin noticed it first, not when they turned, but after. Something felt off. The road was too narrow, trees closer than they should have been. No streetlights, no markings, just a single stretch of asphalt. "How long have we been on this?" Justin said. Daniel glanced at the dash. "Couple minutes." Justin looked out the window. It felt longer than that. Much longer. Ryan shifted in the back. "Was this on the map?" Nathan checked his phone, zoomed in. The blue line still showed the main road, straight ahead, like they hadn't left it. "That's not right," Nathan said. Daniel slowed slightly, leaning forward. "You want me to turn around?" he asked. Justin looked ahead, then behind them. The road stretched both ways. Same narrow strip. No side paths. "Yeah," he said. "Turn around." Daniel nodded, slowed further, hands tightening on the wheel. He waited for a gap, somewhere to turn. There wasn't one. The trees pressed in tight, shoulder barely wide enough to stop. No clearing, no driveway, nothing. "Just go a bit further," Ryan said. "There'll be something." Daniel kept driving, slower now, scanning the edges. Still nothing. The road didn't change, didn't curve, didn't open up, just continued. "How is there nowhere to turn?" Nathan said. Justin didn't answer. He was watching the trees. They all looked the same. No gaps. Too uniform. "Pull over," he said. Daniel eased the car to a stop. Engine still running. No one got out. Nathan checked the map again. Zoomed out. The road they were on wasn't there. Just the main highway. Empty. Like this road didn't exist. "Refresh it," Ryan said. Nathan did. The screen flickered slightly. The map blurred. Then, parts of it faded. Sections of the road disappeared. Not loading. Not reconnecting. Just gone. "Okay," Nathan said quietly. That's not normal. No one disagreed. Just turn around, Justin said. We don't need a map. Daniel nodded, put the car in reverse, started backing up. The headlights shifted, sweeping across the trees. Still no gaps. He reversed further, slower now, watching carefully. Stop, Justin said. Daniel braked. Justin leaned forward, looking past the headlights. The road behind them wasn't there. Not dark, not hidden. Gone. Only trees. Close. Dense. Like the road had never been there. No, Ryan said. No, we just drove through there. Daniel didn't respond. He shifted the car back into drive, hands steady now. Not tense, not shaking. Just steady. He pressed the accelerator. The car moved forward again. No one told him to. No one asked him to stop. Nathan looked down at his phone. The map was almost gone now. Just fragments of roads, floating without direction. He turned the screen off. Justin leaned back in his seat, staring ahead. The road didn't change. Still narrow. Still endless. No turns. No exits. Nothing. Guess we're not turning around, Nathan said. No one answered. The car kept moving. Steady. Like it always had been. After a while, Justin spoke. Quiet. Almost to himself. Wherever it wants us to go. I guess that's where we're going. He got there early. Small town diner, just off the main road. The kind of place that didn't change much. Same booths, same menu. He took a seat by the window, ordered a coffee, said he was meeting someone. The waitress nodded, poured it without asking anything else. Passing through? She said. Yeah, he said. Meeting a friend. She gave a small nod. He checked the time. Still early. No messages. No missed calls. Just waiting. A few people came and went. Locals mostly. Quick meals. Quiet conversations. Nothing unusual. After a while, the door opened again. A man stepped inside, looked around, then walked over. Hey, he said. Your buddy's asking for you. He frowned slightly. Outside? The man nodded. Yeah, said to meet him out front. He hesitated for a second, then stood up, left some cash on the table, headed for the door. The bell rang as he stepped outside. The street was quiet. One or two cars parked along the curb. No one standing nearby. He looked left, then right. Nothing. He waited. A minute passed. Then another. Still nothing. He shifted his weight, looked up and down the street again. Empty. Right, he muttered. Stayed a little longer. Long enough for it to feel deliberate. Then, he let out a quiet breath. Practical joke, he said under his breath. Has to be. Small town. Locals messing with people passing through. It made sense. He turned back toward the diner, pushed the door open. The bell rang. The waitress looked up, studied him for a second. Oh, she said. You're back again? He stopped. What? She gave a small, confused look, like he'd just said something odd. You just came in, she said. He stared at her. No, I didn't. She didn't argue, just looked at him. Okay, she said. You went out, she continued, then came back in a minute later. He shook his head. I've been outside this whole time. A small pause. She glanced toward the booths, then back at him. Well, she said, your friend came in after that. He didn't move. What? He said. She nodded toward the door. Said he was meeting you. You both left together. She wasn't planning to go that far. Just a short walk. Clear her head. The trail had been easy to follow at first. Wide, well used. After a while, it thinned down. Less defined, less traveled. She kept going. That's when she saw it. A small shack, set back between the trees, not far off the path. It didn't look abandoned, not exactly, but it didn't look lived in either. She slowed, watching it from where she stood. She stepped closer, careful. The door was slightly open. She pushed it gently, just enough to look inside. It creaked. The air felt heavy. There were tools, a lot of them. Not arranged, just placed. Hammers, rope, blades, things that didn't belong together. Blankets sat in one corner, piled, used. She stepped inside. Something didn't sit right. Suddenly, footsteps. Outside. Close. She moved immediately. Crossed the room. Dropped behind the blankets. Pulled part of the pile over herself. Stayed low. The footsteps reached the door. A pause. The door shifted. Opened. He came in. She kept her face turned down, breathing shallow, listening. Something heavy hit the floor. Close. Metal against wood. He moved around the room. Slow, deliberate. Not searching, just using the space. Tools shifted. One picked up, set down again. Fabric dragged across the floor. She didn't move, didn't look. He stayed there, long enough for her to stop measuring time. At one point, he came closer, near the blankets, close enough that she could hear him breathing. She pressed herself flatter, stayed still. He didn't stop, just moved past. More shifting, quiet movement continuing. Footsteps returned, toward the door. She listened. The door moved, opened. Footsteps outside, fading. She stayed where she was, waited, long enough for the quiet to feel settled again. She pushed the blankets aside, lifted her head. The room was empty. She stood, careful. Didn't check anything. Just moved, out the door, into the trees. Then faster again, until the path came back into view. She didn't stop walking. Not until she reached the car. Not until she was driving away. Later that night, she saw it on the news. A man still on the run, wanted in connection with multiple killings. Last seen, in the woods she'd just been in. They parked just before midday. Small gravel car park. Only a few other cars. Nothing unusual. The trail started just past a wooden sign, marked, easy to follow. They'd planned this. Out and back before dark. Simple. The first hour was quiet. Just walking, talking. Nothing felt off. It started small. Aaron slowed, just slightly. Did anyone hear that? The others stopped, listened. Wind through the trees, leaves shifting. Nothing else. Probably just wind, Blake said. Aaron didn't answer, just kept walking, didn't check again. A few minutes passed. Tyler slowed next. Hold up. He tilted his head slightly, not turning fully. There's something moving out there. No one stepped off the trail. Where? Jared asked. Off to the right, Tyler said. They stayed still. Nothing came out. No sound followed. Keep going, Connor said. His voice had changed. Tight. Controlled. They moved. The trail narrowed. Trees closer now. Less open space. The feeling stayed with them. Not behind. Not ahead. Just nearby. Sean made a sound. Sharp. Breath caught too fast. Everyone looked at him. He didn't look back. Just stared down at the trail. I saw something, he said. What? Jared asked. In the corner of my eye. What did it look like? Tyler asked quietly. Sean swallowed. Tall, he said. Wrong. Like it wasn't standing properly. Aaron spoke. Don't look at it. They all went still. What? Blake said. Aaron kept his eyes forward. I heard something in town, he said. About this area. Connor didn't interrupt. Didn't turn. Just listened. They said there's something out here, Aaron continued. It follows people. Stays where you can't see it properly. Moves you. Pushes you off the path. No one spoke. If you look straight at it, you don't make it back. Silence. Connor spoke immediately. It's not getting us. We're getting out. Eyes down. Stay on the path. Don't stop. They obeyed. Every one of them. Heads lowered. Eyes fixed on the trail. They started walking again. Closer together now. Faster. More deliberate. No one looked up. Something moved beside them. Close enough to hear. No one reacted. Footsteps sounded behind them. Keeping pace. Still. No one looked up. Sean's voice came out tight. It's right there. No one asked how he knew. No one checked. Connor didn't slow. Keep walking, he said. Do not look up. The trail stretched ahead, longer than it should have been. Time dragged. Every step felt watched. The air shifted behind them. Closer. Closer. Light broke through the trees. The car park. Still there. No one ran. No one broke pace. They reached the car, opened the doors, got in. Connor started the engine, hands tight on the wheel. The car pulled away. No one spoke. No one looked up. Not until the trees were gone.